Chapter 18 continued. So, additional things as part of performance measures are continuous improvement. So, this is where we continuously look at what our current results are, what our previous results are, and look for ways to improve our future results. So, we do this in a multitude of ways, both financial and non financial. So, the last three chapters that we just had last week, so chapter 13, chapter 16, and chapter 17, are one of the ways that we can look at our financial aspects for continuous improvement. So when we're looking at our budget results compared to actual results and analyzing those variances, we're finding inefficiencies in the system that we can help to um, we can find ways that we need to improve those and how to reduce those inefficiencies, which will hopefully then reduce our variances and reduce our costs while increasing our profits. We also can use benchmarking activities. So this is where we go out and look at our industry performance. So how do other industries perform in these measures? We do benchmarking with financial measurement analysis. We also do benchmarking with other things. So we can look at published information, what for example, McDonald's collects a lot of information, such as how many seconds it takes from order to delivery of that order at the drive-through. So we can use those statistics to look at then how does Burger King meet those measurements? How do other fast food restaurants meet those measurements? What is a good, efficient standard to have? Other non-financial performance measures, and these are just some examples. There's a wide variety of non-financial performance measures, and those non-financial performance measures should fit whatever our industry is. So, what's our quality control like? How can we increase customer satisfaction? Is it just a reduction of wrong orders or parts that are less likely to break? Depends on our industry and depends on our business. Again, we talk about market share. So is our market share growing? Is our market share being reduced? What do our sales look like? Are customers buying competitors' products instead of our products? And if they are, then why? And if they're not, then how can we increase our sales from them? And how can we gain more customers from our current loyal customers? We also have performance measures within manufacturing when we look at efficiencies. So we have our manufacturing cycle time. This is the time that we do processing, moving, storing, and inspecting products and materials. So this takes into account a lot of different things within the production cycle, including how long does it take us from the time an employee goes to get direct materials and parts needed in production until that material is ready to go. Then we also look at that as a form of efficiency. So what is our entire manufacturing cycle time? And what is the efficiency of that? And we're going to look at some of those measurements when we do the examples. So when we look at this productivity, we're looking at the output relationship versus a single input, such as labor. So what is the ratio of the output to the value of the inputs? So how efficient are we being in this example with our labor time by our ability to produce outputs, which could be products? So how do we use our labor time to develop products and how efficient are we at doing that? It's important to get employees involved when we make our performance measurement. Some of the reasons for this are because then employees become more invested. And when employees are invested in the company, when they feel that their contribution is benefiting the company and is really making a difference, then they're happier. They report higher satisfaction with their jobs and they have higher commitment to the organization. So we're less likely to have a lot of employee turnover if we have happy employees. We also can help give them some autonomy in their jobs by giving them decision-making authority. So employees that have decision-making authority can provide higher customer satisfaction because we don't run into those issues of maybe saying, I can't make that decision. I need to go ask somebody who can, which then makes the customer wait longer and maybe the customer might not even have their issue resolved if you are unable to find a higher up with that decision making authority. So we want to motivate employees to be involved in the performance measurement process, in the design of performance measurements, and in the decision-making responsibility that gives them control over those responsibilities that they're being measured on. These are some examples of ways that we can get employees involved. So we can recognize them with awards. We can create mentor programs. We might have succession planning or promotions within the companies. Some companies only promote from within and they very rarely hire to the outside, but they train and promote their employees. What kind of training programs do we have besides mentor programs? So again, this is an example of ways that we can get employees involved in that performance measurement and development and learning part of, for example, a balanced scorecard. This would be part of that learning and development portion. This is not an example of everything that could possibly be happening. It's just a small list of examples. So what are some difficulties in implementing non-financial measures? Well, it's easy to fixate on the financial measures. We want higher profits. We want lower costs. Also, financial measures are easy to look at. We have that information. We all understand money. We might, if we're accountants, we understand the accounting figures that go on behind that. We understand where those numbers are coming from. We don't always understand the non-financial measures. And some non-financial measures aren't really easy to measure. So we also have if our information is unreliable or not. So what if we're trying to measure customer satisfaction, but the only people that ever fill out customer surveys are customers that are angry or unhappy with us? What if one of the ways we're trying to measure employee satisfaction is doing exit interviews with employees who have left the company because they are unhappy instead of asking employees why they continue to stay at the company? And then we might not have those correlations between the non-financial measures and the financial results. I said where we need to connect the dots. How does employee satisfaction relate to increased profitability? That is the end of chapter 18. I'm going to do a couple of examples on the next video.